And if you know me, you know I need full penetration to be amused.
If you're still listening, this is our final transmission.
We're here. It's the final transmission podcast. It's Sam Russo. Hi, that's me. It's Jamie Carruthers. It's one.
Hi, that's me.
There he is. Horror movie a week. One horror movie a week from the dawn of time until the end of time. Jamie, how the heck hootenanny hot dog and hornswoggle are you this morning?
I'm great. We're officially in spooky month, Sam.
I thought you'd be happy about that.
The time is here. The time is among us, upon us.
The time is inside us. There's a big red circle around today on my calendar, and it just says, hooray, Jamie's happy today.
Yeah, it's October, the month where we're allowed to exist in, I don't know if you heard that, but Bath just chimed in with a little squeak. Yeah, it's October. And throughout October, Sam, we're going to be looking at some movies specifically set on or around the Halloween period.
Horror movies?
Yeah, let's say yes.
I thought so.
Let's say yes.
Okay.
And we're kicking off this season, this merry season of spooky Sawins, with Jeremy Saulnier's first feature, Murder Party.
Here he is. Jeremy, he's back.
He is back. This is our second time covering a Jeremy Saulnier movie.
You're welcome, Jez.
Doing a lot to really help his career here.
What was the other one?
Green
Oh, yeah.
Room.
One of the best films I think I've ever seen. Definitely one of my favourites.
Really very good.
Really good. Patrick Stewart. Wow.
Do you think
Wow.
this movie would be improved if Patrick Stewart was in it? Yes, it would.
Yep.
That's a very simple question, isn't it?
Yes, it would. I mean, I struggle to think of anything that wouldn't be improved by the presence of Patrick Stewart. Even like just him standing in the corner at an orgy. Just anything.
Yeah.
Would be
We
improved.
salute you, our bald king.
Yep. What a guy. What a good-looking guy. What a great head.
Good
Lots
head of
hair.
head.
Good head of skin. I'd love to comb his skin.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Do you think he like micro needles it?
What's that?
It's like a thing that you do just to try and help your hair grow.
Oh, I doubt it. If he does, it's not a ringing endorsement of that process. I bet he orgasmatrons it. I bet he has several home aides who orgasmatron his head.
I think that the orgasmatron doesn't work as well if you don't have hair.
I think the orgasmatron is a misleading piece of branding. And I'm not sure how that's even allowed. I think it works really well without hair.
I mean,
experience.
my rigorous testing of having hair and then not having hair.
Yeah.
And partaking in the orgasmatron, which I do agree is a misleading name.
Very
The
scientific.
orgasma part is fine. It's the tron. That suggests some electricity, right? Like that's
It suggests some Jeff Daniels that you don't get.
yeah. It suggests some inner workings that are doing something, but it's just 5 prongs of metal that you rub against your skin.
Yeah. Ooh, makes me want it. So this morning, obviously, we're going to a murder party. Thanks, Jamie.
Did you see this before? Were you aware of this movie? Were you?
I was aware of it.
I think we talked about it a little bit when we talked about Green Street because
Yep. We talked about him, his little merry band of, what are they called? The Madness Men or something?
the Lab of Madness.
The Lab
which
of
is
Madness.
Jeremy Saulnier, Macon Blair, and Chris Sharp.
Right.
Who I
Sharpie.
guess got fucking dumped in the dust and left behind as they sped off to Hollywood.
As they grew up. Yeah. What a shame. Yes, learned all about them, largely from you and from a little bit of internet reading. And I read about this film and I didn't want to watch it.
Interesting.
But I did, turns out. I watched it today, this morning, in fact.
Yeah, that's important for the
6:38.
recording of the podcast. I mean, that's on you.
It is on me, yeah. That's on me. So, how did you find this film? What did it do for you? And tell me a little bit about those feelings.
So I saw this before I saw any of the Jeremy Saulnier movies. I think I saw this around 2008, before he was a person with a name that I
Before he
knew.
made any other films?
Yeah. And I took to it straight away. I mean, it's quite scrappy, but for me, it fulfilled something in me that I was really looking for around that time.
Yeah. What was that then?
I think like an interesting indie voice in horror, doing something with like what feels like no money, but they also, I mean, they did spend, I think, 190K on production,
Oofda.
which is like, I mean, last week we talked about The Sadist, and they made that for 30 grand. Obviously,
Adjusted for inflation, it's probably the same.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
This feels a much lower budget, I think, than say the Sadist.
I think it's trying to do more with less or the same amount, so that ambition's going to be spread a little bit thinner, right?
Yeah. To recap stuff that we talked about in our Green Room episode, which I keep want to call Green Street, but that's a different movie and not as good.
You've been watching too much Danny Dyer.
I did watch Marching Powder. Don't do it.
Powder.
It wasn't very good.
Nope, not gonna.
So the Lab of Madness were a troupe of like arty filmmakery people that included the aforementioned Saulnier, Macon Blair, Chris Sharp, and a couple of other people. They made a bunch of shorts, and then they made this was their first feature that they made, and in the credits it's credited as like by the Lab of Madness, but in the real world it's directed by Jeremy Saulnier and starring all of those people. Obviously a lot of them working behind the scenes as well. They were based in New York. They sort of, we know that Jeremy Saulnier grew up in the and Macon Blair also grew up in like the 80s and 90s like punk rock and hardcore scene, although you wouldn't know it from the music that they've chosen for this movie. It feels like weird choices, but
Yeah.
I don't know why you would. I mean, they picked that song that sounded sort of kind of a little bit like a bad Jimi Hendrix song that they play a bunch of times.
There was something punk adjacent. Had like 4 chords.
Yeah,
And
just
an attitude.
can you sort of recap your general feelings about Jeremy Saulnier? Obviously, we know that you like Green Room.
Yeah, I find him to be somewhat enigmatic. I like that he starts out scrappy doing dumb comedy nonsense horror with his mates. That's a great place to start. A lot of people have started there and had wonderful careers, and for some people that's their best work, is when they're, just doing what they want to do early on.
Yeah.
No studios, no messy problems with budgets and interpersonal bullshit. And then he obviously goes on to do something very interesting and thoughtful and nuanced and interesting with Blue Ruin.
Yeah.
I think Green Room is way more interesting and exciting and thrilling and scary than anything else I've seen from him.
Do you think that,
so it
obviously,
stands out.
we've already done an episode of Green Room, so we won't talk too much about it, but do you think that Green Room speaks to us differently because we're in the punk scene? We do tour. Like, it's as I mean, a lot of people do, so it's not like it's the nichest thing in the world, but like, do you think that like it doesn't have that feeling to it if you're not in that scene?
I think it's universally scary, and
Yeah.
the experience of that kind of Nazi is completely horrible for everyone, I think. But it's got an extra added layer of buy-in and a fun little sort of, oh, this is actually made with me in mind as an audience kind of feeling to it, which is pretty special because nobody makes movies for dumb dick idiots in no money bands. It's not really a thing, especially not good ones with Patrick Stewart. So yeah, I think there's a slight added level of buy-in there for people like us. And then, stuff like Rebel Ridge I found interesting because that's a bit of a mainstream transition, but it's still a movie with heart and a message. I don't know. He just seems like a guy with a lot of big thoughts, big feelings, big ideas, and is sort of feeling them out in any kind of capacity where he can get a foothold, which is very admirable. I've got a lot of respect for his career for sure.
Yeah, I feel like for someone that sort of came out of the gate, if we sort of skirt past Murder Party for the time being, but like obviously Blue Ruin was quite big, like quite a breakout. He seems to have not had the career that I think he deserves.
I think he's maybe hamstrung a little bit by the fact that he really likes to have fun and enjoy filmmaking. He's not going to have like a Jeff Nichols-esque career because he hasn't picked a tone and a feeling and a sense of place and loosely kept that as the kind of the ballast of all of his movies. He's done some more sort of eclectic work, which I find really interesting. I think makes me want to check out whatever he does next. And I just generally enjoy his artistic voice. I think there's some hits and some misses for me, but that's 100% taste. I think he's consistently putting out strong movies.
Rebel Ridge was a bit of a sort of almost like a trip back to the well, a trip back to sort of the Blue Ruin well, but in a much higher production value style. I really liked it, but I didn't think it was particularly memorable.
No, I thought it was a bit of a made-for-TV movie. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but so again, watching it as a bit of a nerd, it was kind of cool to see that happen in his career almost, you know what I mean? Just like, this is kind of his shot at having a bit more money, having a bit more clout, having a bit more... I mean, he's obviously got lots of directorial control in everything he does, but it doesn't feel like a studio movie really, even though it has the backing of a studio. And yeah, well, the True Detective episode's pretty solid. Hold the Dark, sure. I don't know. It's not, I just think you make a movie like Blue Ruin, it's always going to be hard to live up to that because you've done something pretty singular. And people are going to want more of that, and you're going to disappoint them by not giving them more. Maybe the people who love Murder Party are furious that he made anything that wasn't this same vibe.
After Blue Ruin, he should be making like the next thing that the Coen brothers made. Do you know what I mean? Blue Ruin feels like it could be the start of a really interesting and incredible career. And like, obviously it's only been 15 years since 12 years since Blue Ruin, so there's plenty of time left. But I feel like some of the stuff that he's done since then, whilst being really good, like Green Room, isn't necessarily capitalizing on the magic of Blue Ruin, which was a singular, special, intense, incredible experience that you've never felt before, I think.
Yeah, maybe it's just a bit patchwork so far. We don't really know.
Yeah.
There's no like strong auteur voice, even though everything he does feels pretty definitive for its genre or its little lane. I don't know, maybe he's a guy who's figuring out what he's capable of. Who knows? Who knows what his motivation and feelings are about that. Either way, he does pretty good work. So, Jeremy Saulnier, we salute you. Wing.
I'm keen to know what you think about this because I think I've got an inkling, but... I'm going to do a synopsis and then we're going to do a break and then we're going to come back and talk about it. So Chris, sort of a nerdy man in his 30s, finds an invite to a Halloween party on the floor and he decides to go to that Halloween party in his homemade knight's costume made from cardboard. But it turns out that party isn't a party in the traditional sense. It's a murder party where a group of New York's burgeoning artists are hoping to kill someone for the sake of art and in the hopes of getting a big meaty grant from a financial backer. And that's the plot of this movie, Sam.
Great. Good work. There it is. That's the movie. We'll take a break and then we'll spoil it for you.
We will.
Whoa, holy shit. I guess that's why they call it Phantom Power.
Oh, I'm back.
You saw my face and you decided you wanted to just sneak in there before me, but I'm
so
also
you were
back.
Keep talking, dude. I gotta get in there, man.
I was about to say we're back.
We gotta get this train back on the rails.
All right, so Murder Party, Sam.
How many Negronis have you had today?
None yet, but it is only 10:16.
10 a.m. Fuck me.
So...
I could do a Negroni about now.
Yeah, it's in the words of your God and mine, it's got to be 5 p.m. somewhere.
Is that the guy who died that you like?
The guy who died that I like,
Paradise.
Yeah,
that's it.
Cheeseburger in Paradise. Jimmy Buffett.
That's the one, Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett's not my god, dude. Sorry, I barely even know. I'm not familiar. I know of him.
You need to partake more in the Buffett.
Probably do.
You need another trip back to the buffet.
I'm deep diving too many buffets right now. I gotta fucking lose some timber for autumn.
Seems like the opposite. You love wood, so anyway, Sam, tell me.
Love wood.
Tell me, I prefer water. Tell me what your thoughts on Murder Party are. Your overall, overriding.
You're not gonna like it, bud.
All right.
It's not for me. It's not my brand of. I don't know what it is, but it's not made for Sam Russo. That's abundantly clear. I think it's a very funny script. I do think it's objectively funny. I think there's a lot of good comedy in this, but I don't think it's delivered well for me, really. And I just really struggle when you've got a strong concept and a fun idea and it's let down at almost every turn, in my opinion, on a production side of things. Like, the acting isn't good enough to make the jokes land. The directing is fine, I guess. The cinematography is there. Performances are not good for my money, and it's just not very fun. I know what's happening, and I know I'm supposed to be laughing and enjoying it, and I'm supposed to be along for the ride. I'm supposed to just strap in and say, it's Halloween, anything can happen. But it doesn't land for me, and I have a pretty acute sense of why. It's because it's just not very well made. And I'm sorry, everyone. I don't mean to be like a dick or critical. I'm just explaining why I don't like it. So I can see this being...
You're allowed to be critical.
I don't like being critical of stuff that's made with nothing but heart and fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is obviously comes from a place of pure love. So I feel like a complete dick saying I don't like it, but you asked.
I did ask.
I watched it really attentively, and I watched it with a really open mind. And I think thousands, hordes and hordes of people will say this is their favorite movie to watch at Halloween. And more power to you. If it fucking pumps your plums, then get pumped. I totally see why it works for so many people. It's just not, it's not coming out of my Halloween grab bag. But I'm guessing, in fact, I'm pretty sure I know for certain that you think this is an absolute hoot owl of a good time.
I mean, I don't think it's perfect. I think there are myriad problems in the Murder Party. But I mean, I disagree with you that the acting's bad. I think that a lot of the acting is really good. I think that the bones of the things that make Jeremy Saulnier an interesting director are all in here as well. I think it's like, obviously we're seeing him feeling stuff out. It's quite a scrappy movie that doesn't really hang together in a conventional movie way. And it's 79 minutes. It's like an hour 19. So like
blessedly short. Yeah, 119. Woof.
I think it still manages to kind of outstay its welcome.
Weirdly, yes. I do think it could be a great short film. I know we japed about that earlier, but it could be, because the main problem I have with a movie that is supposed to be funny, right? We're supposed to be laughing. We're supposed to be laughing at the jokes. You have to have a really strong sense of comedic timing throughout even an hour and 20, and that's difficult. And you have to be able to keep each character's humor consistent, keep them placed well enough that as soon as we pan over to that guy, here it comes a joke. There's a really subtle art to comedy, obviously. I'm not telling anyone anything they don't know, but this doesn't, it's a bunch of mates having a laugh. It's not a well-crafted comedic movie,
Yeah, I think, like, obviously this podcast is a couple of mates having a laugh as well, and like, and we also release it in the hopes that other people will enjoy it. And I think that's kind of what they're doing here, is like,
sure,
well, we think this is funny, and we'll release it, and hopefully other people will as well, and plenty of people do. I'm one of them. But like, I think that is always going to kind of hamper you. You're not going to have the universal appeal, especially like I say, it's pretty scrappy, and it's sort of meandering, and they're trying to do like a one location type horror movie, sort of like Reservoir Dogs. Like, obviously that's all basically shot in that one location, and you're able to ride that and feel like you're doing a real time situation, kind of like The Sadist. But I'm like, I don't think it's especially good, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that so much of it is there. So much of the stuff that we've come to like really enjoy from Jeremy Saulnier and Macon Blair as well, to a lesser extent. Obviously, he's only made a couple of movies at this point, including The Toxic Avenger, which I do want to talk about a little bit.
Sure.
But I think, like I say, I think the performances are quite good from the people that can and have gone on to have careers. It's weird that like only 3 people in this movie have gone on to have sort of longer careers in movies or in media. And that's Jeremy Saulnier, Macon Blair, and the guy that plays Zyko.
Yeah, the drug dealer guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's in like the Twilight movies and stuff. He's like a fairly prominent sort of jobbing, handsome character actor type.
Making a good living.
Yeah. Just it's a weird carry through that it's them two and him.
I guess Macon Blair's probably not a... Well, I don't know. Can you say Macon Blair's an actor at this point? Is he a working actor up until here? Is there a long list of credits before this? Because I don't know. I haven't followed his career. No.
So Bill Tangradi, he had a couple of credits before this, 2 episodes of Law and Order, stuff like that.
Nice.
Or 1 episode of Law and Order, 1 episode of Law and Order Special Criminal Intent nonsense.
Special Victims Unit?
No, I think it was Criminal Intent,
Yikes.
which I've never watched. But I also have only watched maybe 5 episodes of Special Victims Unit. I don't really need that in my life.
Okay.
There's too much of it, and it's the same.
Well, to the point, Macon Blair had only been in 2 short films previous to Murder Party. So
The short
probably
films that
not
they
like
made together, like Frogspawn and Crumble Bum, or whatever it's called,
probably
Crab
working in a
Legs.
fucking video shop or something. But
Yeah.
this is the first time you see him really, like, you know, in a feature-length movie delivering lines and doing act.
Yeah. And I think I do think he's good in this. I think he's the standout, and there's a reason why. Obviously, what he does in Blue Ruin is a special kind of magic. But
Fuck yeah, dude.
But I think like we're seeing some of that here. He's the only character where you really get a sense of like an internal life.
Really?
I think so.
Well, I see his performance was just a complete flop for me. It's not a side of his acting that I particularly enjoyed, I guess. I thought Stacey Rock as Lexi was really the only performance that I fully bought. I don't think it was a great performance, but that was the only character I thought she's kind of throwing herself around like a lunatic for most of the film, but I still felt like there was a bit of a story hinted at there, like a bit of character depth. And she's one of the ones that didn't become an actor, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's again, it's down to taste, isn't it? And I just didn't enjoy what anyone was doing in the film at all, which is a bummer.
And the other guy, William Lacey as Bill, I also think he's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought Chris Sharp was quite possibly the closest thing to funny in the film in terms of just he has quite an amusing demeanor, I think.
Yeah.
Not utilized enough for my liking.
I think like the scene where they're all doing puns and he's like tied to a chair, but he's got a pun that he wants to share.
Yeah.
That's like,
again, I just think that's really
funny
close
concept.
to being funny.
Yeah.
It's nearly there. The funniest bit, I think, a standout bit of slapstick from him, I think, is when he runs into that closet and he's looking around like, and they're doing that clever swoopy cuts where they're looking at all the objects and you think, oh, he's going to MacGyver something. He just runs out and throws an armful of crap at them and lamely runs away. I did think that was both really funny on paper and pretty funny in the film.
Yeah.
But the problem I had was a lot of that dialogue I think was legit funny on paper. It just, there's just a layer of something between funny and this movie that it never quite seems to penetrate fully. And if you know me, you know I need full penetration to be amused. So that was kind of tricky. But I did enjoy Chris Sharp's character. I loved the whole idea of him, the fact that he's a fucking traffic warden who's alone on Halloween with his cat who won't let him sit in his chair. So he goes out to a party and he takes his little pumpkin bread. I thought all of that was really quite heartfelt. Like it feels to me like this is obviously a troupe of fucking hopeless nerds making this movie, and they know what that feels like, and that's going to resonate with audiences like us for, you know, until the fucking end of time. So I really liked where he came from. The scene setting was quite nice. I know a lot of that was shot on a real Halloween night, guerrilla style, so I love that. And I did think there was a strong thread of heart through this movie that's undeniable. You cannot dump on the fact that this is a real passion project, and truly heartfelt in the sense that they're ripping on stuff they've actually experienced. You know, they're taking the piss out of all the art kids because they're fucking sick of the art kids. They're kind of taking the piss out of New York. They're kind of taking the piss out of themselves and each other, and that comes through really well. I think,
so I get the impression that they kind of are so sick of like the New York art scene that they just and obviously they exist within this scene, so they're very, and I do think they're self-aware that they're doing this, but like imagine like you kind of know these guys and you watch the movie that they've made and it's like,
you're like,
oh, I kind of recognize this character being shot in the face as me.
Me. Yeah, into that. I think maybe like every girl they know and hate who loves coke and is a complete fucking
every girl in New York.
Obviously completely funneled that into one character, and Stacey Rock's had to be like, time to betray all of my friends.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's an element of that that's really fun. It's a bit snide and it's a bit, but it's also
I
just
love how
thumbing
snide
its
it
nose.
is.
Yeah.
Like obviously we talked about like being in the punk scene and stuff, and like being in any kind of scene is just like the bitchiest place in the world. So like, and like maybe you'll sneak a little line in a song about someone who you have bristled up against or whatever. But like making a movie where you literally kill all the people that you don't like, like it's.
Yeah.
I think there's just something really special about doing that. Like it speaks to me in a real magical way, even if that film isn't great. Also, I think the funniest line in the movie is "Take off your vampire pants."
That whole sequence should be really funny, but it's the timing, dude. It's just not quite there. But that is funny, yeah. The making him strip for no reason is funny. An enormous amount of comedy value in this film, just not all of it fucking nailing its mark. I think in a slightly, do you know what it feels like? And this is going to resonate, I think, Jamie. It feels like this was a really well-meaning deed of a movie that was written really well, labor-intensively planned, constructed, you know, in terms of production, maximizing that budget. But it's like they made it hungover to shit, and it all just kind of misses the mark. That's fine. You should probably the world should do more of that. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still, you know, it still does a lot of stuff well, and it's still a much loved movie, I think. There's a lot of talk on the webs of it being a horror movie Breakfast Club, and that's frankly sacrilege.
You know, I would say it's more like the horror movie Clerks or the horror movie Slacker. That's what it feels like to me.
Do you know what? Yeah, there's an element of the comedy in Clerks not really landing because Halloran's delivery is pretty piss poor. But then he's finding his feet as an actor, but also as a comedic human. And I think there's a couple of jokes in Clerks that absolutely fucking fly through the atmosphere. They're so good. They shoot to the moon. And then there's a dozen jokes that feel off and make you kind of lift your shoulders up a little bit and go, oi. And that's a similar vibe here. I just think that's what happens when bad comedy doesn't land in a low budget movie. Sorry, well-written comedy doesn't land in a low budget movie.
Yeah, it becomes not good comedy. I think like this movie is missing a Randall is the issue.
Yeah, a strong singular comedic presence who's going to come in and undermine every single scene with snideness and snark, but then also dominate every scene with a big personality and catchphrases and one-liners and stuff like that.
I think they're trying to. I don't know if they're like trying is maybe the wrong word, but I think like they almost have that with Sandy Barnett as Alexander, but he doesn't. He's just, I don't think, really good enough. And
too inert.
I think we've touched on this previously, but like he's also like he's playing a character in the movie, so like maybe you can skate him by on like being bad, but you also can't really. No,
and I think he kind of does the job, but there's an enormous amount of potential for that character to be a lot more ostentatious or to really suck the oxygen out of the room and dominate that group. And it doesn't really happen. He doesn't feel like the force he's supposed to be. Like nobody would actually be trying to please this guy because he's a fucking nobody. Like he has no presence. So again, just a little slight lack of chemistry there. I think maybe what we're looking at is a bunch of people who are really overworked, then having to start acting in a scene, and they're probably fucking freezing cold and hungry, and you can only get so much out of people on that kind of that goodwill, first project excitement, you know.
Well, I
bet the Coke's real. It's probably very real Coke.
I think that's maybe not correct. I mean, the Coke may be real. I don't know, but the reason that the budget is so high for this movie that doesn't look like it cost any money, 190k, is because basically they wanted to make it as comfortable as possible. They wanted everyone to get 3 meals a day. They wanted everyone to have a decent place to sleep, and
interesting.
So that's where all the money went. Really, was to make sure that it was a comfortable experience for these people to be having, rather than
an Evil Dead experience.
Yeah, rather than making Evil Dead
and fucking lawsuits in people's futures. Well, that's nice.
Yeah,
we like that in a way. If they'd had it rougher, they would have made an Evil Dead.
Exactly.
There is an argument for that. Like, maybe the comfort killed it.
I read an interview with Jeremy Saulnier from like the time when it came out. Obviously, before he became Jeremy Saulnier, the person that we know and love. And he was basically saying, look, I just wanted to make it as nice as possible because we're all just too old to be making Evil Dead. Like,
that's fucked up. Aren't they like 30 when they make this?
Yeah. But they were like, what, 24 when they're making Evil Dead? Not them, but they're different people, obviously.
Yeah,
like,
true. Yeah.
It's,
man. A lot to be said for roughing it, Jez.
Yeah, but like, when you tour now, are you sleeping on floors or are you sleeping in hotels? Like,
floors.
I think maybe do a bit of both, don't you? But
Definitely a bit of both. Yeah, if I can get a hotel, I fucking will. But it's floors first.
floor of the hotel, the worst of both worlds.
Me and Tim Barry fell asleep on the floor of a hotel once together. Good. Yeah, the worst. The blurst of both worlds. I would like to see, and I'll ask you the question first, actually. What would you like to see Big Jezzy S do next? Bear in mind, he's a genre-bending, journeyman, cinematic meanderer. Where would you put his next movie? What would you pay good money to see in a cinema full of chatting dickheads?
I mean, I'll watch anything that he makes, so
Yeah.
I'm along for the ride, really.
Mm.
Even, like I said, some of this more forgettable stuff like Rebel Ridge, I still really enjoyed it. It just sort of
Sure.
evaporated the second the credits rolled.
I thought the main guy in that was rubbish as well, by the way, for the record. But
Yeah, he wasn't great. I would like to see something more akin to Blue Ruin, though. Maybe not necessarily with Macon Blair in the lead, but like the
Ruin 2, he's back.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
two Blue, two Ruin. Two
That's
Blue
me.
to Ruin. That's you.
My
Yeah.
life story. Yeah. You can't bum me out. I'm already bummed. It's a good tagline. Great, yeah. Two Blue, two Ruin. I'd queue up for that shit.
Yeah. But I'd like to see something more in that wheelhouse, or something more in this wheelhouse, but engoodened by
More gooder, yeah.
the things that he's learned along the
Engoodened.
way.
A remake. Just do a straight remake, shot for shot, classic fucking remaster.
Yeah,
We're
bring
remastering
everybody,
our first album.
bring everybody back.
Yeah.
Do it in Spanish, like David Lee Roth doing "Eat 'Em and Smile."
Yeah. Oh, he'd probably. Do you know what? If you were having this conversation with Jeremy Saulnier, he'd be taking notes. I think you and Jeremy, I think, would be very good friends in real life.
What do you? What about you? What would you like to see next?
I'd like to see him set up his little desk the way you brew your coffee in the morning, with huge conical flasks and little swirly tubes and a little steam valve and little crank handle, all of that, mad scientist style. And
Yeah.
I'd like him to distill from Rebel Ridge and Blue Ruin all of that modern Western juice.
Yeah.
So not a Western in the traditional, cowboys and Indians sense, but a story of the American West. And I would like to see him do that with a little sprinkling of obviously where his like Jeff Nichols side lives.
Yeah.
A bit of a Shotgun Stories vibe. And I would like to see his take on, a true Montana or Wyoming story, whether it ends up being a cinematic murder ballad or a tale of working class love, whatever it ends up being. I think he's got that in him, and I think it could be fucking marvelous.
Yeah. Have you seen Eddington yet?
No, I didn't know it was out yet.
It came out. I think it's out of the cinema now.
Oh, interesting.
But that's like,
I haven't seen it. Would like to.
yeah.
Maybe I'll
that's,
see it at the cinema.
That's obviously Ari Aster, who comes from a predominantly horror-ish
Yeah.
background, doing a very sort of Coen-y modern Western type situation. I still don't know if I liked it.
Did you see it at the cinema, I assume?
I did, yeah.
Huh. Was it a good cinema experience? You want to talk about kids talking? Or
No, it was a very quiet cinema experience. It was good. It was a day where I did 3 movies in the cinema,
Oy, oy, oy.
and that was the first one, and it was long.
Right. Is it
It was the same day I saw Toxic Avenger, actually. Interestingly.
eclipsed immediately by Toxie and Co?
Well, I'll get into this now because obviously we're talking about Macon Blair. I didn't really like the Toxic Avenger remake.
Surprised.
It actually feels very similar to Murder Party in that on paper it's good, but the execution of it is just a bit loose, and it's weird. Like, obviously you're remaking Toxic Avenger, so like that's a movie that I've seen 142 times or something. Like, I've seen that movie a lot, and we know that Trauma are very scrappy and low budget, but that's the Trauma movie that feels the most like a movie. And obviously it's an artifact of the 80s. So a lot of low budget movies that were coming out in the 80s all had the same sort of patina of like bad acting.
Sure.
It had like nobody stars and like people that had only been in Trauma movies and people that would go on to have careers only in Trauma movies, or even only in reference to the fact that they were in Toxic Avenger, and like that's basically it. Whereas this has Elijah Wood, it has Dinklage, and somehow terrible performances coming out of these people who are
Really?
yeah, and like not in a hey we're having fun way, just in a hey this is hard work and I can't really be asked way.
Really?
Yeah,
Like a hey, we don't really know how to do this way.
yeah, like Elijah Wood is trying,
Yeah.
and
You would hope.
it feels like he's doing something. Peter Dinklage, I don't get it. I don't see it.
You don't
He's
see
not-
him as the Toxic Avenger.
No, it's doing something interesting, and it's doing something quite sort of punk rock.
Right.
In the same way that the Murder Party is, I think, like it's a satire of something very specific, which in the Toxic Avenger remake is about the sort of medical, big pharma, like lack of socialized Medicare thing. And I don't know if we need a 2-hour movie to say people should have access to medicine, but like it doesn't feel like a radical take to me.
No.
But then I don't live in America, so
It's not really a take that you expect from Troma either. Like,
no.
it's
Well,
a take
Troma
you expect
didn't
from,
make
like,
the movie.
everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, is it not a Troma movie?
No, it's made. I guess they're involved in a capacity, but it's not like it wasn't produced in house by Troma.
Well, this is controversial.
There are things in it that I really liked, but on the whole, it wasn't great. And like
Interesting.
Macon Blair can make a movie. He's making movies, and like I don't feel alone in the. I don't know the name of the title of the movie.
I don't.
What's it called?
I
I don't feel alone. I don't feel a part of the thing. I don't feel at home in the world anymore.
Yeah.
Was fucking great. I
Right.
really liked it. And I think like that was kind of channeling some of that early Saulnier vibe, the Blue Ruin stuff, and doing more of that, which Jeremy Saulnier has kind of actively avoided. Just sort of doing the same thing again in the way that the Coens would, I guess, move on and do something completely different using the
Sure.
same set of tools. But I really rated that movie. I thought it was fucking great.
I'm shocked and appalled that Toxic Avenger isn't a Troma movie, and not surprised that it's not very good. I took one look at some stills and just thought that looks like it's not for old Hammy Russo. It just doesn't. It just looks too self-aware, too on the nose, and too stupid. Like, I don't know. I probably will never watch it, which feels crazy to say.
Yeah, I feel like what I was looking for out of it was being able to look at this and see something that 15-year-old Jamie in 2025 would be like, yes, this is going to change the trajectory of my life.
Yeah. I think I would have just wanted the anything that was lacking in the original maximized.
Yeah.
Like exactly like we were joking about rewriting this. If you're remaking this, if you remade it, you'd just have someone who's really good at comedy do all the comedy stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the same with Toxic Avenger, where stuff was a bit rough around the edges or a bit labored. There's not much wrong with that movie, really. You know, there's nothing wrong with the concept at all. It's great. So just maximize it. Why have Toxie be small when he could be huge? Like, why have anything be small when it could be huge, and why have anything be small when it could be tiny? You know, just go nuts on everything. But it doesn't seem like they've done that.
Yeah, what I wanted was a similar experience to like I'm gonna reference a Marvel movie here. I know that you don't care, but like when I saw
Just
Guardians
prepare
of
me to retch. That's fine.
when I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, oh good. This is this generation's Star Wars. Like a bunch of kids are going to see this and understand what is the foundation of a good interest in science fiction, which like people maybe won't have. I mean, obviously, there's been a bunch of Star Wars movies that are this generation's Star Wars, but in terms of like,
Every generation has a this generation Star Wars that
true.
is Star Wars. Thanks.
yeah, but I mean, I don't think that the 90s Star Wars films were particularly good, and I don't think that the most recent Star Wars films were particularly good either. Whereas I think that like the experience that people in 1977 had watching Star Wars, I think there was a similar experience for people watching Guardians of the Galaxy of a certain age, like little kids seeing that and being like, yes, this is a world that I want to explore. And that's what I wanted out of Toxic Avenger. I wanted a 15-year-old kid to see it and be like, fucking weirdo, outsider art, horror, gore, splatter is the thing that I want to find out more about, and I just don't think
Yeah.
that it's remotely good enough to inspire that in anybody. And it's a real
it
shame.
looks like if you don't have any awareness prior to that, it looks like a joke.
Yeah.
It looks terrible. Fine, in the bin. No thanks.
Yeah. But we got into that from Eddington. I think like the trajectory of like starting in a horror world and moving into that sort of more modern Western interesting thing to say about the world. I still don't know how I felt about Eddington. I still have tricky feelings about it. More generally, I thought it was boring, and then I thought it was insane, and then I thought it was beautiful, and then I thought it was fucking bananas. Like,
but I love all of those. Boring, insane, beautiful bananas. That's all my favorite B's for a movie.
yeah,
All of them. And
including insane.
Bema Bastone. All my favorite B's. Count me in. Bema Bastone's Befreckles. Yes, please.
I think I maybe don't like Joaquin Phoenix. I think something
Sorry.
about him.
Who don't you like?
Joaquin.
Phoenix. The wind on the plains and the lead up to that. Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I think I don't like him. I think he's I think when he did that insane thing where he went insane for a movie,
Yeah.
and he let everyone think that he was insane for a bit, and it turned out it was just a bit. I think that rubbed me up the wrong way, and now I hate I hate his fucking guts.
So funny that you don't get Joaquin Phoenix. That's brilliant. I think this movie's going to be fucking incredible because I love everything you've just described, and I'm a big Joaquin Phoenix fan. So
I loved Beau is Afraid. I really liked Beau is Afraid, and he's in that like 50 times. So
I bet there's loads of Joaquin Phoenix movies that you love.
there are, yeah, but I mean, there are Bradley Cooper movies that I love.
All right, I'm going to knock off a few Joaquin Phoenix movies, and you're going to tell me if you love or hate them.
Okay.
You're not allowed anything in between, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready to rip?
Yeah, if I'm not allowed anything in between, then okay, go on.
I'm still here.
Well, that's the one, right? That's the fucking the bullshit thing. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Walk the line.
I
Do you love it?
if I don't hate it, do I have to love it? Is that the rule?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, okay, then I hate it because
Oh, fuck.
because I quite like it, but I also think it's been completely ruined by Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Okay.
That actively lampoons every single trope that is laid out in that movie in a really beautiful and perfect way, and it means that I can't ever really watch or enjoy it ever again.
Okay. That's fine too.
So I hate it, Sam.
What about Gladiator?
I don't care for Gladiator. I hate it.
Okay. What about Signs?
I love Signs.
You love Signs. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Great stuff. What about The Village?
No, The Village is... I mean, I love The Village. I'm going to do a spoiler for The Village now. This is
Cover your
important.
ears if you haven't seen The Village.
But obviously, there's a moment in where Adrian Brody, the town, the village idiot, let's go with that,
Yeah.
is like dressed as the monster,
Yeah.
and he falls into a hole.
Yeah.
And when I saw it in the cinema, a woman shouted out when they saw him in the hole with the monster costume on. She said, "Oh no, the monster ate Noah," and because like there's blood and the monster's there, and he's sort of there hanging out of the monster costume, and I guess she thought that the monster ate Noah.
And that's your overriding memory of
The Village. Also, the idea, again, spoilers for The Village, that they're in fucking Yellowstone National Park and it's modern day or whatever. It's the most bullshit thing that anyone's ever done in a movie. It's fucking...
So you love The Village?
No, I hate it. It's awful.
Okay, right. We'll do two more. You ready?
Okay, go on.
Inherent Vice.
Yeah, it's perfect. I love it.
Thought you might love it. And what about Joker?
If it's love or hate, then I have to say I love it. I thought Joker was actually fucking incredible. I really, really wanted to hate it. I walked into it like, fucking Joker, let's make a fucking smart movie about a fucking Batman villain. Fucking, I'm better than this.
And even with that attitude, you came out liking it. That's a huge pendulum swing.
Yeah.
Well, I think you love Joaquin Phoenix.
I think the numbers say that I don't.
No, they don't. They say you do.
I think I hated more than I loved in that list.
Well, we'll have to go back and listen to the playback and find out. If you've been tallying up at home, write us at FT Horror Show on all social media platforms. You can have Jamie's personal phone number. If you message me on Instagram, I'll give it to you. Yeah, big Joaquin Phoenix fan. Jamie Carruthers, everyone. Let's give it up.
Thank you.
I like him. I think he's magnificent. I think he's a risk taker.
I mean, he might be a risk taker, but I think that risk that he took, that I'm still here risk, was a bad risk. And it made him be the sort of person that they're lampooning in this movie. Like the sort of...
Nah.
I think...
That was a genius move, very, very clever idea, and a lot of fun. Like enormous amounts of fun.
I think the thing that they're doing in Murder Party of like mocking the lack of authenticity in artists and how like everything in art is really performative.
Yeah, but they're also doing a great snooty lampoon of truly uninspired art that comes from zero creativity. You know, the word art with a question mark in a frame. Yeah. That is the ultimate piece of complete dog shit nonsense. Derivative.
Can I tell you something? The fucking hipster douchebag inside me.
Yeah.
I'm really fascinated by the photo that the guy takes as he gets shot in the head, because like I think as an idea about art, like a piece of art that somebody makes at the exact moment of their death is an incredible idea to me. I think that's probably the nearest thing to art that any of these people would ever produce. Yeah,
true. Yeah, and that's what I hope is being critically lambasted in this film is the true lack of inspiration in a lot of this. Not even really pretentious art, just completely unsubstantial dross that's being made, and that's celebrated and critiqued, and so much time spent on. I hope that's what they're cutting to the core of here and just saying 3 chords and attitude, bud. That's all you need, and you got a horror movie.
Yeah. I think
I've got a lot of respect for that.
The only person that we maybe think is an artist, or is maybe sort of set up to be an actual authentic artist, is Bill, the guy that goes insane and kills everyone.
Turns out to be a lunatic, yeah.
And like we don't see any of his art,
no.
But we know that everybody talks about how shit it is, and we know that they only do that because they're jealous.
Yeah, because they think he's the best, yeah. Again, there's a lot of really good ideas in the movie. The idea of this, truth serum, truth or dare game between a bunch of conceited, backstabbing, pretentious art fucks is very, very fun.
Yeah.
It's a very cool idea.
I feel like that's a cool idea as well, because like in a world where all these people know that they're not authentic, like why would they even take part in that? Like they know in their heart of hearts that they are, fucking big posers.
Yeah.
So like, why would you even do that to yourself? But
yeah.
I guess you sort of think you buy into your own bullshit to a certain degree. And like, I thought that scene was really interesting because like the way, and this is sort of some of the stuff that maybe suggests like an internal life of some of these characters, but like the different ways that people injected that. So like Macon Blair's character, Macon, injects it into like his like elbow joint, and you can see like a couple of other track marks there. And Bill injects it like between his knuckles. So this sort of suggests that like this isn't their first time injecting stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, certainly not with Macon's track marks, for example. But like,
sure.
Nobody
and
knows.
The other guy injects it into his pizza. That was funny.
Yeah.
I see that as a really good example, like you said, of giving us a bit more character depth. But I was frustrated by everything like that because that isn't the point. Like, the point here is to get to the comedy and to get to the drama.
Yeah.
And we just spend too much time fuck-assing around on stuff that doesn't really matter, and it harms the joke. You wait too long, it goes stale.
Yeah.
The moment passes. There's a lot of past moments in this where you think, Jesus, just trim some of that out and you're there and you got it and bang, it's done and move on. But it lingers a bit too much. I think a self-consciously portrayed comedic situation is killed by how long you hang on it. Like whenever someone who's bad at telling jokes is telling a joke, they hang on the wrong stuff for too long, waiting for you to react. And it feels like this movie is doing that without a laugh track. So I like those little touches for character depth. I think that's really important, and that shows an awareness of what an audience needs in order to care. But it's just placed strangely and in ways that I didn't particularly find useful.
Yeah, I think maybe the issue of the overriding issue of Murder Party is that it has, the script is too sort of snarky to be dramatic and too dramatic to be really funny.
Yeah, and it's too piecemeal in its true comedic core, which should be more slapstick in my opinion, because when that happens, it lands. And the people who are capable of comedic acting in this movie are pretty have a solid understanding of slapstick.
Yeah.
But less so really nuanced, well delivered comedic dialogue, which it looks great on the page. So if I'm retooling this for my own personal taste, I'm just tightening that shit up a little bit, and it works a lot better.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a good Halloween movie. I do think if you're doing a little Halloween party and you need a movie to get things started, this is a good opening act. Maybe not a good opening act. This is an opening act.
My Halloween movies in my brain are movies that I would put on the big screen or on the projector during like a big Halloween party. And I just don't know. I think you could cut out some key scenes of this into like your big video mixtape, but I don't think like showing this on the projector at a party would be enough. Maybe the last 30 minutes of it, but
yeah, it's probably too slow for that, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, there's just like a lot of people standing around in a room.
It builds up to a massacre, I guess you could call it, at the end. There is a bloodbath at the end, and the whole movie leading up to that is. I thought in the moment I thought it was quite clever because we're expecting mega violence and we get mega silly. You know, the first attempt at a murder, the axe gets caught on a fucking bit of fly paper or something, completely ridiculous. So I was like, okay, tonally not what I was expecting. And then we don't really get much gore full stop until the end. We get a couple of head wounds and a bit of this and a bit of that, but it does kind of tee you up to feel like you're going to get something really grindy. And you don't get that at all. And even the gore feels quite silly.
Good though.
Not bad.
Do you think you don't?
Can't go all in.
I think the practical effects are really quite good for what is ostensibly a no budget movie. If we think that like they spent the bulk of the money
on hotel rooms,
on like
cheeseburgers in paradise,
hotel rooms, food, the camera that they use. I presume they bought it. It's like a $15,000 camera. There's
a Steadicam operator credited.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a lot of Steadicam, yeah.
And like the camera is always moving, so like that's I think really, really key here is that the movie feels maybe a bit more kinetic than it actually is because the camera is always sort of jogging around. It never stays still.
Well, it's kinetically weird, isn't it? Because it's like that 70s show gag where they're in the smoking circle and it kind of pans around them in a circle because they are limited on space and they are sort of circularly arranged for the vast majority of the film. There's not a lot of asides or people going off to separate rooms to explore or whatever, and then it kind of only really explodes out into new areas at the end. It's a weirdly shot movie, and it doesn't feel disjointed or claustrophobic. It feels like a bit of both, weirdly. It feels a bit loose.
I think
that's fine, you know.
Have you seen Dave Made a Maze?
No.
Okay. We'll cover that one day. I think Dave Made a Maze is a better version of what this movie is trying to do.
Okay. What was that, like, not very good comedy horror that you love with the guy, Crazy Butt Man? Psycho Gore Man.
Crazy Butt Man?
Yeah. Yes, Crazy Butt Man, remember?
He loves hunky boys. What can I say?
Yeah. I put this in the Psycho Gore Man brand of horror, that if you were going to start a little section in the horror VHS rental place that was like, if you like this, you'll like this, I would put this right fucking next to that movie for people who are into it.
I think Toxic Avenger, the remake, is like a distant, shitty cousin of Psycho Gore Man. I think Psycho Gore Man is infinitely better. I know you didn't love it, but like the everything that they do in Psycho Gore Man, they're kind of trying to do in the Toxic Avenger remake. Ooh. And it doesn't really work.
Right. I would put Terrifier near that section as well, weirdly.
Yeah, well, so I thought about Terrifier quite a lot while I was watching this. Maybe because people kept saying art. But
yeah, it could be. Yeah. There's the delivery of lines in these two movies come from a similar caliber of acting, I think. And there's the way the comedy doesn't land is exactly the same in this as the way some of the stuff in Terrifier doesn't really work.
Yeah. I think
It's a
like
bummer. I feel like we're being so critical here of people just trying to have a good time. But
well, I
don't
think
know.
like we can retcon Terrifier as well because like there are 2 sequels of varying personal mileage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and
obviously
I mean, I think the first one's the best one, and I think it's fantastic. But
Yeah.
it's just there's a parity there in terms of bits not really working.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are more bits in this that don't work than do.
Bits.
But I remember liking this movie a lot more than I did on this watch.
Right.
And that kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. I felt a bit sad by that, a bit saddened.
You're a class traitor.
Yeah. I completely agree that like being hypercritical of a movie like this, which is, 6 mates getting together in a really sort of punk rock guerrilla way and making a movie slagging off all of the dickheads that they hate. Like,
Yeah.
that's just to me that should be the full stop at the end of the sentence. Like, we shouldn't have to. It shouldn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be good. But but I would like it I'd like it more if it was.
Yeah. And also, fuck them. They asked for it. They made a movie. They deserve
Yeah.
to be torn to shreds. How dare you create something?
Well, I think like we might be having a really different conversation if Macon Blair and Jeremy Saulnier's career didn't go on to be the career that it was. If this was
You
like a
think
standalone artifact and they disappeared into obscurity like everybody else in the movie.
Bit easier to dismiss, I guess.
Well, I think it would be easier to you wouldn't be constantly comparing it to Blue Ruin in your brain, even like
Sure.
because I think Blue Ruin is basically a perfect movie, a horrible place to be. You can't look away. The acting in it is perfect. Everything about it is amazing. The sort of grimy cinematography and the darkness of everything that's happening and like the gore of it and the obviously the comedy that sort of exists in that is the same flavor of comedy that exists here, which is like situationally you put a person in a situation that doesn't really have the capacity to engage with the world that's around them or to exist in this like story that they're in, and you're watching them fail in real time effectively, but that really nails it and hits it right on the head and knocks it out of the park, whereas this doesn't. This is not it.
No, and I think one of the key problems I had is that our narrator gets usurped and gagged too early and for too long. I wanted a central protagonist. I didn't want an ensemble group of people that we don't really like. I don't want the shitty, snarky, don't like you killers to be the main narrative driving force. I want more from the guy we've been introduced to early, whose life we've seen a bit of, and who's been taken captive, and who's ultimately the most interesting because he's a completely innocent victim.
Yeah. Although he's a traffic warden.
Yeah,
I love that. Like,
I'm guessing in your book makes him a cop.
I mean, definitely he's a cop. He's a car cop. Like but like they introduce this character who is like a boring, fairly nice guy with a gorgeous cat. He's creative enough to make him finding the box that says Halloween costume, taking the Halloween costume out of it, and then turning the box into his costume. Fucking, it's a genius joke. I don't think that they sell it in quite the best way, but like a genius joke. Oh, the concept alone is enough to make that joke funny, even if the execution isn't right.
Yeah.
But the idea that they set us up with this character, like, you kind of instantly love him as a schlubby idiot character, like you
100%.
And then to reveal that he's a fucking traffic enforcement officer, like a parking enforcement officer, is, I think, a lovely like little 1-2 punch of like, you like this character, but he's not a good guy. He is in fact
detestable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also like, again, it goes even deeper. You like the level of self-loathing there. Like he obviously is like, I'm a traffic warden.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think in terms of 1-2 punches and clever layering to jokes, they do that with the raisins as well, because the gag, first of all, the gag is, are there raisins in this? Yes. Are they organic? that's the gag, and you're like, oh Jesus, this fucking. And then she's like, oh no, because I'm actually allergic to fucking preservatives. Oh, I'm dying. That's again another really clever, well written, well thought out joke, and that one kind of does land. There's a few that work. It just feels like a little bit more zip, and we're genuinely laughing, not going, oh, that could have been funny.
Yeah, I wonder if that works so well because that's Jeremy Saulnier's wife. I don't know if like she gets some sort of special preferential treatment or something. So like
she gets the good jokes.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, she dies first.
Yeah,
not that much preferential treatment.
Well, so
good head hitting the spike noise. It was just like a not really a noise at all. Yeah.
If everybody only got the one joke, the best joke that they got in the movie, and then they didn't do anything else, there wouldn't be an issue.
But like,
so she gets a good joke and then she dies.
Right. So everyone gets one gag and then they die.
Well, everyone has one good gag, but the rest of them are around for the rest of the movie having not good gags. So like, there's a bit more
losing your virginity, you die. You make a good joke, you die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. That could be good. Yeah. What about a horror movie where you have a bunch of stand-up comedians, and if they're funny, they die, and they have to not be funny for 90 minutes?
Is it called funnyordie.com?
Yes, it is actually. funnyordie.com, starring Jamie Carruthers, a man who can't not be funny.
Hellhammer is a great name for a dog.
Nope.
No? You don't think Hellhammer's a good name for a dog?
I hate that shit. I fucking hate that shit. And it's just, it's the pitfalls of
I've got a cat called Baphomet.
Movies. Yeah, and that's you, Jamie. That's your life. Again, it's not my brand of cat naming, and that's fine. But it's another problem with nerds making movies is they do all the nerdy things that they think are great, and Hellhammer is not a name for an animal. It's a name that a nerd gives a thing because a nerd thinks it's funny, and I don't think that's cool.
Well, I'm a nerd, and I think it's cool. So
I thought you might. How does Macon Blair catch fire? I missed that completely.
So he's pouring liquor all over himself in like every scene prior to that, and then he lights a cigarette.
Oh, it's that simple. Okay, right, good.
Yeah.
I thought I'd missed something. Right.
I think that effect, the melted mask, he's got a little fucking snout.
Yeah.
Is great. Just to go back
the reveal
to like
of it's good. It doesn't hold up from then onwards, but it's a good reveal.
I love it when someone peels like their skin off and it's all like cheese pull, like that sort of thing.
The wetter the better, I would say, with a skin pull. Yeah, definitely. I want to see more. Again, maybe this is his next move: scalpings that are wetter.
Yeah,
I'd like to see the Macon Blair Scalporama as the next movie.
But yeah, so I wanted to just go back to what you were saying about like nerdy guys making or nerdy people making movies and inserting nerdy stuff. Like obviously, there's a bunch of stuff in here that is really referential to other movies. Someone's dressed as Pris from Blade Runner. Obviously, someone's dressed like a baseball fury. But like they do that, and I don't think that they like hang on it too much. And it's like it sort of feels real.
Those are just pretty legit Halloween costumes, I guess.
Yeah, like
and they're not hyper focused on one mega nerdy thing. They're spread out among some of the biggest movies ever made. So
yeah, and they're also like. It's not like everybody's dressed as a movie character. Some people are just dressed as generic vampires, and so
Wolfman, whatever. Yeah,
I think like they're kind of maybe doing something in there where they're talking about more who that character is, and like
definitely
by their choice of Halloween costume. But like,
which is crucial, right? The character in the movie has picked who they are for Halloween. It's not the director has made a joke or a reference about something and just ham-fistedly forced it upon a character who's supposed to have their own personality.
Yeah,
I believe that he wants to be Wolfman because he's got a beard and he just has to put a mask on and wear a hoodie because he's lazy and he seems like a sloppy, lazy idiot. And then Blade Runner girl it all makes perfect sense. Baseball Fury guy, he can have that same kind of expression the whole night and then become a psycho. That's cool.
Yeah. When they go to the other party, the Cicero's party, which is very close by.
I guess they're in the arts district or something.
Yeah.
Don't know.
The scene on the subway where the guy's just like rapping at him is very real.
Very real. Pretty funny. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get more of that, to be honest. I thought that was the start of a journey to something.
Yeah.
I thought the party was maybe going to be a real party where people start getting murdered, and our main central guy was going to be this hapless slapstick foil who just keeps having things happen to him despite just trying to have a night out. And I was excited about that. So, but again, maybe that's a clever pulled punch because it's such a flop and a damp squib when he gets there, and it's just some fucking nerds in a warehouse. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of ifs, woulds, coulda, woulda, shoulda, buts in this movie, and I don't feel like going through all of them. So,
okay. Well, why don't we take a break, Sam? Come back and give our final nails in the coffin.
I'm done.
Will you give it up, man? Nobody's out there. We're alone. Oh no, there's somebody out there. I'm picking up all this crosstalk.
I'm back, Sam. Are you back?
Yeah. Yes, I'm back.
Before we give our final thoughts, I want to take a moment to pay our respects to not Robert Redford, to redscare.net, Red Scare Industries.
R.I.P. I guess they're dead. Paying our respects.
You can pay your respects to people that are alive.
Maybe they are dead by now. Who knows? We're recording this for future release. Red Scare Industries was a great record label.
Yeah.
If you, back in time, I guess the catalog's probably still up even though they're all dead. www.redscare.net for all your punk rock needs. You can check out tour dates of a bunch of great bands, including Sam Russo, who's on tour in the USA from the 15th of October all the way up to Fest in Gainesville. Check it out. Bunch of cities, bunch of shows with Brendan Kelly and Good Friend. And a bunch of bands playing Fest from the Red Scare roster. Get in there, check them out, redscare.net.
Good. Well done.
Thank you.
So, all right, final thoughts. My final thoughts on Murder Party. I think I like the idea of this movie more than I like this movie.
Yeah.
And in the few years since I last saw it, I guess I'd edited it in my brain to only have the bits that I like, or I'd even embellished the bits that I liked into being more of a thing that actually existed rather than just being concepts that I enjoyed.
No harm?
I do think it's interesting. I do think it's a nice sort of insight into like the creation of cinematic voice that I enjoy in Jeremy Saulnier and in Macon Blair, less so in the guy that plays Zyko.
You haven't got alerts, Google alerts set up for his every move.
No, I don't. Every time he's in a fucking episode of Castle or whatever. Like, Castle's great. Big fan. Do you know what? I think I like Nathan Fillion, and I don't like that I like it. I like him that much.
Really? Why? What's it say
think
about you that you're not comfortable with?
I just think that there's something about him that I think is performative.
He's an actor.
Yeah.
What was your first clue, Poirot? Jesus Christ.
Do you know, like, when actors go out of their way, Gosling is kind of the same as this, to make you think that, like, maybe you would be friends in real life.
You think they're trying to tell you something about their souls through acting?
Yeah, or through, like,
role.
not even, like, in their acting, but in, like,
cool.
in their interviews or the way that they present themselves on social media or whatever. Like, they're trying to cultivate
their public life.
Yeah, as like I'm a cool guy. Like I'm funny and I'm snarky and I'm whatever. And I just sort of
I think if you've got that in your bag, you'd be so remiss not to use it. I mean, it's your job to appear to be affable. And if people go away from your art thinking he must be fucking sick, I bet we could go for a beer. You've won. You've done the best PR imaginable in the world.
Yeah, it feels fake though. Particularly with Gosling. And with Fillion, I think it feels like it's not real. I'm
going to hit you hard here. I don't think it's that it doesn't feel real. I think it feels too good to be true. Because you get it organically from someone like John Hawkes. You think to yourself, I could have a fucking beer with John Hawkes. That'd be great. And he's not trying to do that, I don't think. I think Gosling is just so magnetic that it feels like he's superhuman charming. It's too much. Too close to the sun, Jamie. Your wings are melting.
I think it just feels fake to me. I would give Ryan Gosling 3 baby gooses out of 11.
I would not. I think Ryan Gosling is a magnificent man.
At what point does he become Ryan Goose? Like, when does that happen?
When he reaches full charm. 10 on 10. Honk! We get the big daddy goose.
Wouldn't it be amazing? Like, I would respect him if he's on Graham Norton one day and he starts to, like, I don't know, look like he's a bit sick, sort of clutching his chest, and then, like, his skin all flies off, and just like a
Coughing up
gigantic goose covered in grue.
He was a goose all along.
Yeah, I would respect him if that happened.
If he became a goose on Graham Norton,
You'd
respect him more.
That wouldn't feel performative to me. That would feel like an honest moment.
It's not a high bar, is it? Dear Ryan Gosling, if you're really all that, you'll become a goose on Graham Norton. Love from Jamie. No wonder you like this movie. Fucking hell.
So, I mean, I do like this movie. I think I say things are more than the sum of their parts, like quite a lot. I don't know if this is more than the sum of its parts. I think the experience of watching it is fine, but I think the movie that plays in my head when I'm watching it is better, and I like that it puts that movie there. So
it puts the lotion on. Are you taking credit for this movie?
Yeah, the movie.
When I watch it, it's better.
Exactly that. I think
Makes sense.
I think it's good fun in a way that I enjoy.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's too loose. It's too maybe drawn out short film for a movie that's 79 minutes. It doesn't even crack 80 minutes. Like it shouldn't ever feel like okay, get to the fucking point, and it does.
Sure, a bit like us.
Yeah. So, I mean, for that, I'm gonna give it 6 chainsaws. That's boring because people give chainsaws, but there's a moment where he has 2 chainsaws. So
keep justifying it.
So I'm gonna give it 6 chainsaws out of 11.
Okay.
6 all painless, which is a reference also to fucking Predator.
So I hear. I'm gonna say the same but opposite to you. I'm gonna say it is great fun in a way I don't enjoy.
11 chainsaws out of 6.
Yeah. I'm giving it 4 cups of vinegar splashed all over your night costume out of 10. Because I don't like it, but because I know it's good.
Yeah. The vinegar joke, I think, is funny. The idea that they don't know what acid is.
Yeah, but again, just land the joke and get out, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me.
I think
it has to be explained too much. Just fucking construct the joke better so you don't have to explain it for 10 minutes.
I think the issue there also is that they're straddling two eras, really. Like, they have the internet accessible on their phone, but they're also like
True.
ubiquitous internet. So
True.
Like it makes that take longer because they have to spend that entire the reality of them searching up what that kind of acid is on the internet. It takes ages because that would take ages at that time.
Yeah.
And like they can't just be like, "Hey Siri, what is salicylic acid or whatever it is?" Like
Chat GPT it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a movie. You should maybe watch it around the Halloween times if you're going to watch it any times because it's going to augment some of those vibes. Not in a way that I like, but in a way that a lot of much happier, more fun, easygoing people might very much benefit from.
It does have a bunch of Halloween visuals. There's a pumpkin that gets smashed.
Yeah.
The one final criticism before we jump out of the window, but the little musical sting when he makes the pumpkin loaf, the little sort of jaunty making the best of it song or whatever it comes on is too stupid and on the nose, and like it feels tonally, it sets up a tone for the movie that the movie then doesn't adhere to. Like, I don't know, do you remember that? Like someone smashes his pumpkin and he's sad about it, so he takes the pumpkin inside and he uses the smashed up guts of the pumpkin that was smashed to make the pumpkin bread. And there's like a little song that plays in the background which is like about making the best of it.
Oh, I don't remember being moved either way by that. Weird.
It just
you felt like it didn't fit. I guess I didn't know what I was in for at that point, so maybe it felt totally normal, and then in retrospect, maybe not great.
That's what I mean. It sets you up for a specific tone, and then it yanks that tone away, and maybe that's on purpose, but it doesn't. But it feels like we're going to be in a goofy comedy rather than like an art satire, or a goofy comedy that's also an art satire, or a goofy comedy and an art satire having a fight and neither one of them wins. They both sort of punch each other in the face until the movie ends. Yeah.
There was a bunch of that. Tricky to reconcile, but fuck yeah. I mean, it's better that this movie exists than doesn't. We need more of this art than we need framed pictures of the word art with a question mark in a fucking New York City loft.
Yeah. All right, Sam. Well, it's Halloween month, so we're going to carry on doing some more Halloween flavored movies. Maybe one of them will be very on the nose.
Ooh.
And so yeah, why don't we say goodbye to the lovely people by telling them how they can support the podcast should they wish to do so?
You can put your hand in your pocket and sign up for Patreon for a mere $5 a month, where you get uncut, unedited, unless Jamie says something he has to edit out, footage and audio of us talking before and after the podcast and in between and all the breaks where we're not just going to the toilet. You can also go to whichever social media platform you choose to waste your life on and go to @FT Horror Show. That's @Foxtrot Tango Horror Show. And follow.
I thought you were going to do the
and share
whole
our
thing
posts.
then. Foxtrot Tango.
Foxtrot Tango Hotel Oscar Romeo
Wherefore art thou?
Oscar Romeo Sierra Hotel Oscar Whiskey. That's it. That's the whole thing. Do that. Oh, a whiskey. I'd like a whiskey. Yeah, do that. And share it with your friends. Tell them how fucking cool we are at the phonetic alphabet. And come hang out. Final Transmission. What a great thing.
You can also check out Sam's Instagram. That's where you do most of your posting, right? @Sam Russo Music.
Yeah, go on in if you fucking must. Yeah.
And you can follow me on Letterboxd @_dangerous, which I might change that to be more in keeping with the rest of my social media platform handles. But we'll see.
You're a dangerous guy. You could also follow Jamie on Instagram. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's @Carruthers it's hard to explain.
You'll find it. Yeah. You could also send him unsolicited nudes by messaging me on Instagram, and I'll send you his phone number.
Don't do that. I want all my nudes to be solicited.
I have a solicitor just for nudes.
To get you out of all the scripts from all the nudes that you send.
Yeah, I was going to say, that'll probably be a thing one day.
Well, we'll see you next time for more Halloweening, more Samhaining.
As Swaby would say, beans, Halloweens.